for some reason, people tend to think that cursing makes them look cool or classy. I just tend to wonder, why do you swear? It's either a yes or a no. Like, nobody would beat you, so why are you swearing? Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Chamaka. Okay, in today's video we're going to be looking at things or words you use that you think makes you bougie, you think makes you look like the smart kid that everybody wants to associate with, but in reality, do you seem that way to people? Nah, not really. You know how everybody wants to be smart, everybody wants to be that cool kid, wants to be that person that knows what's up, or just to be perceived as smart, or that kid that blows a lot of grammar. Everybody wants to be around, right? That's not a problem. The thing is, we end up not sounding or not being as smart as we intend to be when we use these words, or most times, or sometimes when we overuse them, we end up not being as smart as we thought would be, or as cool as we actually did think it would make us look. So everyone uses it, they sound cool, they sound smart, and at some point, even you yourself, you're like, I know, I think it's too much. No, you know what? I'm done. Okay? So yeah, there are stuff and stuff like that, and we're going to be discussing some of them. Anyway, if this is your first time coming onto my channel or stumbling on my video, do not make it your last by clicking on the subscribe button and join the community. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, what's up? How are you doing? Hope you're good. All right, so let's get into this, right? So what we're gonna do is, as you're watching this video, just leave some, I'll be giving examples, so leave some examples in the comment section. Let me know if it's just me, maybe it's all up in my head, right? Maybe it's just in here. Probably you think that, oh no, it does make people smart, or there are times where people have used these words and even to you, you're like, no, no. Yeah, let me just know in the comment section. So a very good example is popular catchphrases. You know, you watch them in movies, you see them a lot in books. That person you admire so much uses it, they use it amongst friends, use it on you, and you just feel like, oh, this sounds cool, this would make me belong, like that big girl, that smart girl, that, you know, all of that, right? Yeah, and so you use that popular catchphrase because it's what is in vogue, it's what everybody's using, so why not, right? It seems cool, it does seem cool because it's popular and it's widely used, but when you overuse it, it sort of loses its charm. An example is when you're always saying damn, all right? After a while, it sort of loses, maybe when you start, yeah, after a while, it sort of loses that charm to it, that edge to it, all right? Another example is the word bitch. Now, I know on one hand, bitch is an offensive word, and on the other hand is what friends could call themselves, like females could call themselves, and it could pass because they're friends. But the truth is, if you do not use the word bitch, it doesn't take anything away from you, it doesn't add to you, right? Or rather, it even makes you seem better, because imagine if you're always being called a bitch, or you're always calling people a bitch, no matter how close you are to these people, not everybody appreciates it, right? And it's something I think a lot of us will need to watch. If it's a good thing, you won't be careful of how you use it. I don't know if you get, right? Bitch is that word that everybody's just so careful, because even amongst your female friends, not everybody likes being called a bitch. I personally do not, and I find it such a struggle. I like to be conscious of what I say or who I call such, like I'm very, very conscious of it. It sometimes slips out, right? And rather than beat myself, I take correction not to use it again. It sometimes slips out within my friends, especially friends who use it a lot on me. So it sort of just influences that statement. It influences my use of that word. So it's edgy, it's cool when it's used casually, but you need to remember that words carry a lot of weight that you can imagine, and you do not want to be offending people. It's also a foul language, like it or not. Yes, you use it as a joke, but calling somebody a bitch is a foul language. It's offensive, it's outrightly disrespectful. And I noticed that when you use words among your friends casually, there's every tendency for you to use it to people who aren't your friends. Like, it would just slip out. ask people who use statements like maybe call their friends this, like, or the fool, it would just slip out for somebody that you shouldn't be using it on, and you wouldn't know. Like, you want to watch it because what you say carries a lot of weight. It also affects people. You do not want to be on that roller coaster where you are just dropping bombs on people without even knowing it. So it's essential to mind the kind of language you use and who you're using it on. So really, there are other popular catchphrases that you might want to watch out for, that maybe you think that, oh, it's in vogue, it makes me sound this, but really, on the other hand, it actually doesn't make you sound that way. You might just be offending people, right? And some of them might not want to tell you. Some would tell you that, nah, I don't like this outrightly. But everybody's entitled to their opinion. But imagine if you go to a place and you use that and somebody just corrects you and say, oh no, that's offensive. It's just better you stay away from it, okay? The next one is excessive cursing. Now, for some reason, people tend to think that cursing makes them look cool or classy or well-traveled. I do not know how we got to this position or how we found ourselves in that situation where people think that it makes them classy. I'm not exactly sure how we got here. Like, they feel it makes them look confident, it makes them look high up, like a lot of it all, but come on, it doesn't. Outrightly, it doesn't. If it just doesn't. Okay, so I'd agree with you that a well-placed curse word can sort of add emphasis to what you're saying, but you can also do without it. But I agree that it adds emphasis to what you're saying, right? But when you use it a lot, carelessly, ruthlessly, like you just use it anyhow, it sort of takes away that flair, that edge that comes with it. That, like, when overused, it loses all flair and all punch, right? And you sort of come across as being crass, being classless, and that's the honest truth. A very good example is the F word. So you get a lot of people that will just be like, fuck it, this it, what, and who the, I get that. Yes, we watched a lot of movies. The bad guy is always using that word. The boss lady in the movie is always using that word. But sorry to tell you, it doesn't make you sound like somebody people want to associate with, right? It doesn't make you sound like someone who has taste or has class. Damn right makes you come across as an angry bird, makes you come across as someone who does not know how to use their words when things aren't going exactly as it should for them or exactly as they have planned. Yeah, and this is me putting it mildly. It can be funny, it can be liberating, it can add emphasis, but if you overuse it, it's just what it is. Imagine when you're speaking and every sentence you keep using the F word, you keep using the F word. It honestly makes you seem uncool. And when every sentence is sussed with it, it becomes crude, annoying, and honestly so uncool. Really uncool. If nobody's gonna tell you, I will tell you. When I see people use the F word, 1, okay, 2, 3, no. We're not supposed to be talking to each other. We're not supposed to be in the same clique of friends, like close friends, because it's something that is very easy to catch up with. And I don't find it funny when you always curse. Why are you cursing? There's so many ways to express yourself. It makes you come off as an angry bird, like somebody who easily breaks stuff when they're angry. It might not be that way, it's just the way it's being placed in my head, right? Rather than use the F word, why don't you use something else to place emphasis? Must it be that one over and over and over and over again? I know someone who people avoid because of that. Like, they just, nah, this person curses a lot. It's just a no for me. Like, no, I can't deal. And that's the truth. Not everybody wants to deal with all of that. There's people who do not mind, don't get me wrong. There are people who do not mind, yeah, but it's unsettling for someone like me, and it's unsettling for a lot of people when you do it a lot, like constantly. Every sentence you make, everything you do, it doesn't matter whether you're angry, whether you're happy, whether, like, it's the only way you know how to lay emphasis and express emotions. Even when, like, a very simple statement, you kind of make it, nah, no, 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 stop it. The next one is swearing. Now, this is mostly a habit, right? I just tend to wonder, why do you swear? It's either a yes or a no. Like, nobody would beat you, so why are you swearing? Like, believe me or not, I will never understand why people swear. Why are you swearing? It really doesn't make you seem as cool as you think it's making you, right? It actually makes you it actually comes off as you being a liar, like you're trying to prove something. I don't know, but that's just how I see it. When people begin to swear, they're trying to say something and to lay emphasis, to sort of prove their point. They're like, I swear. Why? It's either a yes or a no, or it's either it's like this or it's not like this. Explain yourself, but do not swear. When you begin to swear, you're trying to prove you're trying so hard to prove a point, which sort of makes you seem like you were even lying in the first place. If I was beginning to believe you, if I was believing you the moment you swear, I kind of like, are you sure? Am I shooting myself? Should I believe this person? It's really not cool. If it's something you're doing, I think you should find a way to cut it off. Let your yes be your yes and your no be your no, and the world would adjust to that. Okay? Don't swear. Why? Like, I swear, and I'm telling you, I swear, or I swear I will do this to you. I swear. It's a struggle for me too. It's not something I do regularly, but there are times when it slips out, right? There are times when it slips out, and I try as much as possible to curtail it, not to. It's a yes or a no. You can't beat me. If you don't believe me, rest, right? If you don't believe me, rest. When it's not a do or a die affair, right? I just would tell you what it is, basically. Something else, the last one. So we've talked about a lot of words being used. Now, this is a theme I don't think really looks cool or makes people look as cool as I think it does. First of all, though, at the expense of being sounding like a real African mother or auntie, hold up and listen to me. This last one is excessive piercings and tattoo. I'll never understand why people go through all that pain. One tattoo here, one piercing here, 3 here, 5 here, fine. But there are people who, when I say excessive, like, you look at them and they look tattered. They look like they should be in a psychiatric home. They look like they're having midlife crisis when they are just 22 or 25 or 30. They look like like they're screaming for help. Something about them is screaming for help. I know it makes them feel like they look cool. No, it doesn't. It makes you look like you need help. It makes you look like something is wrong. Like I said, at the expense of sounding like an African auntie or an African mother, but it is what it is. I'm not against piercings. I'm not against tattoos. The reason why I do not have multiple piercings, well, the reason why I don't have a tattoo is because I feel like one day I will want to take it off. I wouldn't want. So I'm someone who sometimes just wants some things that are temporary, right? I want to take it off, and I've never even been moved to even get one. Even if you tell me it's temporary, I've never been moved to get one, right? But piercings, I cannot stand it. So tattoo is painful as well, but my major reason is that I can't even do it. I'm not so attracted to it, right? It's just a momentary attraction. For earring, the reason why earring, I think it's painful. I have a very threshold for pain, right? It's very small, so I know it's going to be very painful, and I wouldn't want to try myself. That's the one reason why I can't do that. But away from that, right, it's also the fact that if I pierce my ears one day, I don't even wear the normal earring. I haven't finished wearing. It's now to have more piercings. Who is going to be wearing those, filling up those spaces, right? Who's going to be filling it up? Me? Definitely not me. But I've seen people with piercings, with tattoos, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. I've seen people with piercings, I'm like, Mado, if only I can. But I can't, for obvious reasons, right? I'm like, if only I can, and that's not a problem. But when you have excessive piercings, I feel like you're going through a midlife crisis. Why? It's not as cool or as bougie or as whatever as you think it's making you. No, it's not. It's not. Let's just get that clear. No, you're not as. It's not as you think it is. Most times, it makes you look dangerous. It's you. No, we're not being stereotypical. We're not judging you, basically, but it comes off as you being dangerous. Because why? Like, if you have on your nose, like this point, you have on your nose, you have here, you have on your tongue, you have a lot here that you pierce here. What's going on? What's going on? Are you safe? Blink twice if we should help you. Like, no. You have on your navel. You like on your tongue. Like, you practically have everywhere. Blink, dear, if you need help. Blink. It doesn't make you look cool in any way. It doesn't make you look bougie in any way. But if you say you're comfortable with it, then it's what you feel like, who are we? But anyway, I'm just here to say no. There are a lot of things that we do when we think it puts us right there, but it really doesn't, right? It's all about finding the right balance. You may not want to give it up entirely, but you might want to balance things up, right? And moderation and thoughtfulness really goes a long way in doing some of these things. So I'm not saying they're entirely bad. There's some of them that when you avoid them, it really doesn't take anything away from you. Better to avoid than to do. But if you say, oh, I can't give it up entirely, remember there's moderation, there's thoughtfulness. You need to think about how people will perceive you, how you also want to be perceived by others, and just apply moderation to it. Moderation is everything. Balance, baby, balance. So stay mindful of your language, right? You need to be mindful of your language and how it affects other people. And remember, it's not a bad thing to be bougie, right? So stay bougie in the best possible way, okay? Now, let me know in the comment section things that people do and you're just like, no, sorry, sir, but no, you don't look that. This is not a pass. This is a nah. Yeah, you feel like moderation should be applied to it, right? So let me know in the comment section. Now, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. Subscribe. We have fun over here, and share my video to others. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chiamaka Ukebu. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now, guys. Bye, guys.